Just a few months ago, Manchester City were untouchable. 6 Premier League titles in 7 years, 4 in a row, a treble. Yeah, that was them. So what went wrong? Did the footballing gods just suddenly decide to take back their blessings? I mean, we've seen a team that could steamroll anyone, now losing 5 games in a row and getting embarrassed by teams they should be crushing. Crisis or just a coach losing his touch? Let's take a close look at why Manchester City is broken. Pep Guardiola, the genius who revolutionized football. Or at least that's what we were all led to believe. Now let's talk about what happens when genius starts looking like chaos. Has Pep's tactical philosophy gone stale? Maybe the perfect football Pep promised just wasn't that perfect when teams finally figured out how to press his beautifully intricate system into oblivion. For years, Pep's possession-based, high-pressing style made City one of the most feared teams in Europe. But lately, things haven't been so polished. City's possession rate has dropped from 68% last season to 61% this season, a stark decline for a Pep Guardiola side. Who knew that tinkering with a system that was working for years might actually break it? Those changes, new formations, switching up roles, looked great on paper, but started to, backfire. Instead of evolving into something more effective, City now seemed like a team stuck in transition. Speaking of transitions, let's talk about possession. Remember when City used to own the ball? Yeah, not so much anymore. They now struggle to control games in the same way, often lucky if they can string together 2 passes without it looking like an accident. And it doesn't stop there. The so-called finishing machine is missing more targets than a blindfolded cat with a laser pointer. City's once unstoppable attack is now lacking that sharpness, especially when it comes to shot accuracy. And let's not even talk about the defense. If you're a City fan, you might want to skip the next part. They become soft targets, conceding goals with alarming regularity. While tactical adjustments have created confusion on the pitch, distractions off of it have added fuel to the fire. Oh, and did we mention the 130 charges against them? Yeah, the club's being accused of breaking financial fair play, FFP, rules, which I'm sure is making everyone at the club sleep like babies. Yeah. City has been under investigation for allegedly inflating revenues and disguising payments to meet FFP regulations, which could result in hefty fines or even a ban from European competitions. But this legal mess isn't exactly the kind of thing that helps a team focus. Because nothing helps team morale more than a constant media circus over financial violations, right? It's hard to focus on defending when you're more worried about defending your reputation, isn't it? While the players are under pressure to perform on the field, they also navigate a storm off of it. The charges may not be resolved anytime soon, but they're definitely a distraction. And let's not forget the external pressure. Fans are restless. The board is probably sweating, and the manager's probably thinking, did I sign up for this or did someone prank me with a lifetime contract? Pep Guardiola, who's used to controlling everything, suddenly finds himself in the middle of a legal drama that he simply didn't plan for. Maybe Pep's spending more time reading his legal documents than his tactical notes. Erling Haaland, the man who terrorized defenders last season, is now a striker stranded on an island. With City's midfield struggling to create chances, Haaland's movement and positioning are now being wasted. Last season, he averaged 1.6 big chances per game. This season, barely 0.8. Without proper service, even a goal machine can't fire. He had 36 goals by January last season. This season, only 18 by the same time. This season, City's midfield has struggled to break down defensive blocks, leaving Haaland without the support he needs to exploit his finishing ability. It's almost like he's just standing there, hoping for a miracle, but there's no one around to deliver the magic. Is Haaland the problem? Or maybe, just maybe, there's no service for the human wrecking ball to wreck anything anymore. When your main striker has little to work with, no amount of brute force can get the job done. And then there's the absence of Kevin De Bruyne. Oh yeah, Kevin De Bruyne, the wizard with the golden boots. Who knew that his absence would expose just how much City relies on one guy to do everything? Without De Bruyne pulling the strings, City's attack has been severely limited. Without De Bruyne pulling strings, City's attack is like a car with no engine. It looks good, but it's not going anywhere. Let's not forget the other key players who've been off their game. Bernardo Silva, once hailed as the heartbeat of City's midfield, now looks more like he's caught in a bad dream and forgot to wake up. And Jack Grealish, remember when we thought he would be the next big thing at City? Well, spoiler alert, Grealish has shown glimpses of brilliance, but hasn't consistently delivered the game-changing performances City fans hope for. The absence of star players like De Bruyne only magnifies the weight of expectations because when you're City, even minor setbacks feel like a disaster. Look, when you're winning everything, it's fun, but when you're expected to win everything, it turns into a nightmare. City are learning the hard way that defending their crown is a lot harder than winning it. The pressure is immense, and it's clear that this squad is starting to feel it. Expectations are sky high, and anything less than perfection is met with criticism. Like it's tough when you're at the top of a mountain, and the only way is down. Something Pep and the team are discovering with every match. Maybe Pep has reached the point where he's winning so much that even winning is becoming boring. When your team is used to dominating every single match, a loss is a personal attack on your entire existence. There's no joy in simply being good anymore. It's about keeping up the impossible standard they've set for themselves. And when they don't, it's like the world's ending. City's mental and emotional strain is as much a part of the story as their tactical woes. Then of course, there's the smaller matter of injuries. I mean, what's a Manchester City season without a couple of star players being sidelined? Seems like, it's becoming tradition. The squad's depth has been tested like never before, and imbalance is starting to show. It's not just about tactics anymore. It's about surviving the weight of greatness. So, is this a temporary blip, or is the dynasty over? Manchester City has recently experienced a significant downturn with just one win in their last 13 matches. However, they managed to secure a 4-1 victory over West Ham United on January 4th, 2025, indicating a potential turnaround. Historically, teams like Manchester United and Chelsea have faced similar slumps but rebounded to reclaim their dominance. United's 2013-2014 season saw them finish 7th, but they returned to the top 4 the following year. Chelsea's 2015-16 season was marked by a mid-table finish, yet they clinched the Premier League title in 2017. These examples suggest that with strategic adjustments and leadership, recovery is possible. A January signing in midfield, perhaps someone like Bruno Guimaraes, could ease the creative burden. So is Manchester City in full-blown crisis mode or just riding out a temporary slump? Either way, Pep Guardiola is getting a crash course in humility. Pep needs to simplify his tactics and trust the basics that brought them success. The team's recent form has been inconsistent, with notable losses to Liverpool, Aston Villa, and a struggling Manchester United, and draws against Crystal Palace and Everton. Can they turn it around, or should we start selling tickets for their Europa League adventure? History shows top teams recover. Can City adapt and prove their doubters wrong? Or is this the beginning of the end for Pep's dynasty? The next few matches could define their season. Do you think Manchester will bounce back? Which player or strategy can turn things around? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more football content. See you in the next one.